Ask Amy Anything week 2. And there's questions all over. So maybe at some point we'll streamline the process. But I know producer Zach and I have kind of collected a few. I think mostly producer Zach has got them. I've got a couple if you don't see them, but I know there's some on the YouTube stream. We've got some from social. So where would you like to begin, Zach?
Let me start with, if that's okay. You sent me the ones from social, but I do have the ones that I've been watching from our YouTube stream that I'm going to throw up there first. And I can also throw those up on the page for you. But the first one we had was thoughts on flag football in the Olympics. Will players have it in the back of their minds this season, or is it an afterthought?
Oh, no, I think that there are a bunch of NFL players who desperately want to be involved in flag football in the Olympics. Now, is it what they're thinking about when they're on the field? Probably not. But there are a lot of different guys who've already thrown their hat in the ring, even Tom Brady, because to have the opportunity to represent the red, white, and blue and to do it in a sport where you don't have to learn entirely new skills, though, flag football, high schoolers, college who play flag football, they'll tell you the skill set is not quite the same, obviously. And there are some very successful pro leagues. So we already have a USA flag football team. The NFL sponsors a flag football league. So it's pretty stiff competition, but there are a few NFL players that will be involved. So they've already kind of set the pool and set the roster, at least for the qualifying to get into the Olympics. And even as they ramp it up, I think the more attention it gets in the Olympics, the more fans are into it. I think the more that NFL players will want to be involved. But since it's relatively new, not the game itself, but this opportunity for NFL players and pro players to get involved, I don't know that it becomes a major distraction or, hey, we're thinking about it. But yeah, there's a bunch of high profile current and former players who've already indicated we want to be part of this. And think about, too, what they've done with the Pro Bowl. It's now the Pro Bowl games. Was it maybe 3-4 years ago that they changed it to a flag football event? And the amount of attention that it got initially was kind of fun, but now considering that it's an Olympic sport, yeah, I think when there's this opportunity for them to showcase their skills, they want to do it. I don't remember exactly how many, but there are only so many spots on the team, the US team, that can go to pro players. But if you think about it, Major League Baseball players, NHL players being involved in the Olympics really raises the profile, whether it's, an international competition like the Four Nations. Remember that tournament, the Four Nations tournament that really got fans excited and then led to Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL, opening up the door for pro players to go back to the Olympics. The more you get recognizable pro athletes in these Olympic sports, I know people complain because maybe it limits the spots for the amateurs, but the higher the profile and the more excitement it generates. So I do think they want pro players involved. And I know quarterbacks, wide receivers, the defensive players are kind of left out in the cold, right? Because it's not really a spot for them, for most of them. The linemen are not going to run up and down the field trying to grab a flag off of someone's belt. So maybe limited, but yeah, it's the fact that they can actually win a gold medal and rep the red, white, and blue. It's that one arena where football players haven't had the opportunity. So now they do. And you could see why Tom Brady would want to elbow his way in there and why he's staying in shape maybe for that.
I looked it up just to see the bylaws that also I couldn't find like a set number of total NFL players. I do know that it's one player per team that they put the cap on, at least, and what I'm reading here. And also when you brought it up, somebody, I guess I need to watch a little bit more. It made me think of like 7-on-7 that you would play back in high school where they would keep one lineman just so he would sit there and just snap the ball and then just stand there while everybody else did everything. We did get another comment here in our YouTube stream that I think you've actually been bringing up some, so I'm glad we finally got it. Amy, what is that silver statue on your top shelf?
Oh, yay. Oh my gosh. So this was a really neat moment in my career. It's a Gracie Award, and it's an award for, here, I'll go get it. Hold on. I think I can do this without ruining everything. Hold on. Here she is. Right now, I got to put my headphones back in. It's not the only award I've won, but the reason it was special is because the company that I was working for at the time, which was CBS, actually sent me out to LA and allowed me to go attend the award center in downtown Los Angeles. So it's a Gracie Award, and it was for Best Female Sports Talk Host, which was such an honor, of course. I was presented by a couple of hosts who were at ESPN Radio, so kind of funny because they called me the GOAT. Anyway, here's the neat thing about it. It's not just the fact that I got to take my niece. So at the time I was still single. So it was my older niece, Deanna, who met me there, and we dressed up and we walked the red carpet and we took photos. And I'd shared those at the time, but also amazing at the table right behind us. So we were one of the front tables, and I met some really neat people from CBS. I was at a CBS table, but back to back right behind me, Pat Riley and Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman. Now, I grew up, when I was a kid, so I remember being 6 years old, maybe 7 years old, and I had Wonder Woman underoos. And so, remember underoos? They were decorated like your favorite superhero, because
I had G.I. Joe ones. Yeah, I had G.I. Joe and Spider-Man ones, yeah.
Yeah, so I had underoos, and I guess I thought that it was appropriate at 6 or 7 years old to come out of my room into, I think we had company, a family dinner, not a family dinner, sorry. We had people from outside the family who were there having dinner with us, and I got in so much trouble for coming out of my bedroom in my Wonder Woman underoos. And so here is Linda Carter, who was my favorite superhero when I was growing up. She was sitting at the table right behind me in a gown, and Pat Riley was her escort. I'm not sure why they were friends. So when I go up and accept my award, she was receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. I went up and did a quick speech, which actually maybe I could share on tomorrow's show. I have it. It's preserved on YouTube. I went up to get my Gracie. I was in my gown. I was nervous as heck. As you can imagine, my niece was there at my date, so she was keeping me calm. But I'm staring at a Linda Carter and a Pat Riley, who now I can see their faces because they're toward the stage and kind of back to us. My chair was pointing away from the stage. Anyway, I get up there, I do my little 20-second speech, and I come down off the stage, and Pat Riley says to me, "Good job, congratulations." Whoa. Okay, so then get this, Zach, as we're leaving the it wasn't an auditorium. It was like a ballroom at a hotel in LA. It was actually in Hollywood. As we're leaving the hotel, I may or may not, with my niece, have strategically taken my time collecting my things and kind of walked out when Wonder Woman did. So she had received her Lifetime Achievement Award. She's walking the hallway to get to her car, and we're kind of walking nearby, and she stops and she takes off her heels, and she starts talking to me about the fact that her feet hurt after wearing these heels. So it was a surreal moment for me. Not only was it as an honor, of course, to win the award, but to go to LA with so many talented women in the business, and then to have a conversation with Wonder Woman and be congratulated by Pat Riley. Okay. That's awesome. Good. I don't care if I never go to another award ceremony in my entire life. As much as I would like to be a Hall of Famer, this was it. I was good. So the Gracie Award normally sits on my piano, but now it's up on the shelf behind me. So thank you for asking so I can tell that story.
No, that's a great story. I love that. I mean, it can't get better than meeting Wonder Woman.
No, it definitely cannot.
And praised by Pat Riley, because I've read a good amount of books about him. He's not a guy who hands out praise.
No, he definitely is not. And even now that she's receiving a Lifetime Achievement Awards, and she's no longer obviously Wonder Woman, she is still graceful and beautiful and with a big smile. And it was just funny. Of all the things we could have talked about, her feet hurting wearing heels to receive her award was where the conversation went. So yeah, that was a special memory and a special night, which, like I say, even more than the award, which also meant a lot to me. I don't really care about awards and recognition, but that was one hell of an experience that I will never forget.
No, that is amazing. Our next question, I'll go ahead and go to Twitter, X, Twix. Is that what you
yes, all of those things.
I do have one that I think is a very interesting one. For someone trying to break into sports or on the job hunt to work in sports podcasting radio, what is your best piece of advice or words of wisdom being in the business as long as you have?
Gosh, that's so hard because there's so much that I could tell you. In fact, I even struggle in a class where I teach, gosh, 13 something hours over yeah, it's like 13, 14 hours over the course of a month, a one credit class at Syracuse to try to instruct students in how to set themselves apart in what is a very crowded industry. But I appreciate the question. Couple pieces of advice that I think are really critical. Figure out what you're good at. Okay, there's a lot of different avenues that you can walk in this industry. Figure out what you're good at and also what you're passionate about, because through the long hours, the low pay, the the days and nights when you might labor without breaking into the space where you want, or you haven't quite figured it out, or maybe you don't have a job, or in my case, I've been fired 3 times and I've been dropped from rotations, right? So my advice is, if you figure out what you're most passionate about and you pursue that, you won't feel like it's not worth it or you're spinning your wheels, because that passion will carry you even when you don't see the rewards or the benefits, or it doesn't happen as quickly as you want. So figure out what you're good at. And sometimes that means trying a lot of different areas of the industry. So sales, I'm not good at sales. I don't take rejection well. So I'm not even good at asking people, right? So that's why we have a terrific sales manager, Stephanie, who says that's her job at Rogue Media Network. So yeah, eliminate those areas of the business where you're not so comfortable and you don't think it's for you. Production, sales, whatever it is. Figure out where your skill set and your passion meet and pursue that avenue, because again, the passion will carry you even when you don't feel like it's working, or you feel like you're laboring in many cases without seeing the benefits of that. So that's one thing. The second thing I would say too, and this is something that I think I'm inherent. It's just me. I'm extremely determined and committed, and I'm generally going to outdistance the field just because I refuse to give up, right? So I just keep going even when it's bleak or it doesn't feel like it's working out. And so I try to tell my students, in order to stand out, well, you got to make sure that you give it time, right? You got to be willing to follow the process all the way through, not to invoke the Sixers and Joel Embiid, who are still trying to see the end result of the process. But it's an investment and it's going to take some time. And so, yeah, you want to be confident in yourself. And yes, you want to continue to network. The vast majority of the responses you'll get in this business are rejections and are no's. But all you need is one. You don't need 7 companies to hire you. You just need 1 foot in the door. So keep at it, stay determined. That's so important. And also, and I say this to younger people, I didn't used to give this advice, but I'll give it as a bonus. Be careful what you put on the internet, because when you do, it never goes away. The internet is eternal, and you don't want to put something out there for clicks and likes, for the idea of going viral and, hey, I'll get the attention, but then realize that once it's out there, you can't take it back. So tread lightly with the internet, because clicks and likes aren't the same thing as having a job that gives you value or allows you to use your skill set in a way that you can actually build something in your career.
I think those are all great pieces of advice. I agree with you on that.
Zach.
I mean, not that yeah. Another one though from Twitter, and I'm going to kind of put it together because I can't, wow, I'm blanking. It for sure is a hump day for me. When you were on your honeymoon, who made it to the top of Koko Crater first? I guess, did y'all go hiking up there? You and your husband?
We did. Gosh, I wish. So there's photos in my blog. If you ever want to see some of my latest hiking escapades, I actually did a blog in honor of America's 250th birthday through the eyes of a hiker's lens, because it's a recent passion of mine, maybe the last 10 years or so, that I've really gotten into hiking. And now my husband and I share it. And so we hiked Mount Washington, the largest mountain east of the Mississippi, and also in my favorite state of New Hampshire, my home state. We did that before we left the Northeast. Since then, we've had the chance to hike up to above 12,000 feet in Colorado. And when we were in Hawaii on our honeymoon, we, of course, hiked Diamond Head. So that's the iconic one that you see in all the various shows that are filmed in Hawaii. It looms over Waikiki, and there are photos of, not just hiking Diamond Head, but the top for the view from Diamond Head on my most recent blog. Actually, if you want to throw it up or not now. Don't worry about it now. We'll do it maybe tomorrow or something. But it's amylawrencepxp.com, and it's also on my social media. Anyway, there's some great photos. Well, this lesser known hike, really only known to locals in Hawaii, was suggested by our Uber driver who we had for 2 days. We were only in Honolulu and Waikiki area for about 48 hours. We wanted to go to Pearl Harbor. We wanted to hike Diamond Head, which we did. And so we ended up getting connected with this Uber driver who said to us, let me take you around for the next 48 hours. So she did. And she suggested local places to eat, as well as this crater called Koko Head. And it's really amazing, which is why the pictures are necessary. It's actually railroad ties. So they used to have this system, a pulley system, believe it or not, where they would bring supplies up to the top of this crater or this mountain before it erupted. And they would use this pulley system with railroad ties and railroad cars to take supplies up to the top. I don't know if it was a fort up there or some type of establishment up there with a need to get supplies. So they have these old railroad ties, and they're not set up so that there's steps that you can easily climb. No, there's over 1,000 of them, and they go straight up. And I mean straight up. Actually, producer Zach, if you want to Google Koko Head, or if you want to grab the picture that's on my blog, whichever, just to kind of give people an idea as I'm describing it. So there are railroad ties, and it's not a gradual slope. I mean, you're climbing 1,000 of these. They're unevenly spaced apart, and you're going friggin' straight up. It's crazy. And so we started climbing these railroad ties, and the locals, they use it for exercise. They're coming back down. And this one older lady said to us, don't rush. The mountain's not going anywhere. It's going to be there. So you had to stop, and you had to take breaks and kind of gulp in air. And so to answer the question about who got to the top first, I generally am the one who's in front when my husband and I hike, not because I'm faster or in better shape or anything like that, just because I am a better leader when it comes to hiking. I sometimes have these bursts of energy, but also I like to be able to see. And so I was probably in front. And also, here's the thing. My husband is afraid of heights, and yet still breathtaking heights and views. And he did it anyway, even though heights is a fear of his. He conquered that. So that's why another reason why generally I'm in front. Oh my gosh, that's it right there. Koko Head crater at the top. So yeah, it may look like it's a gradual ascension. It's not. But then boom, straight up in the air. And the last few railroad ties at the top, you actually have nothing underneath you. And so it can be a little bit scary. Don't look down. And you're going all the way up to the top where that tower is, believe it or not. And so you're looking straight up. I seriously go check out my blog because it's pretty phenomenal, but it's scary if you turn around and look back, but the views are worth it. And so I would say me, though my husband and I, we pace ourselves when we hike it together, but that was a great revelation, being in Honolulu, being, for just the 48 hours on Oahu, because then we spent the rest of our honeymoon on the Big Island. So it's kind of funny because this particular listener and now viewer, Rob is his name, I'm pretty sure, he had sent me a couple of photos. Hey, the next time you're in Hawaii, or if you go to Hawaii, make sure you hike Koko Head Crater. And I actually wrote back and said, oh, we did that. So I'm so glad we didn't miss that when we were in Hawaii, because it'd be a long way to go just to hike these 1,000 railroad ties. But whoa, quite the experience.
No, that looked incredibly steep. So I get it. But also, it does look like it would be gorgeous, obviously, when you get up there and kind of see the view from down below. But
yes.
No, it looks straight up, like you said.
Yeah. amylawrencepxp.com. That's my blog. And it's the most recent blog post because it was in honor of the 250th. And I did share my favorite hiking photos. So Mount Washington, some from Colorado, which was our most recent hike above 12,000 feet. And then even in Hawaii, we went up to the top of Mauna Kea, which is a dormant volcano, but it's up to 12,000 feet as well. We just didn't hike it. And Koko Head and also Diamond Head are on there too. So I'll share it today, but yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome. I do have one last one if you want to get to it that I feel is pretty easy here for in our YouTube stream.
Easy. I like that. Okay.
Do you miss overnight?
I want to be as diplomatic and kind as possible because people keep asking me, will you return to the overnight? No, I don't miss it. It's not like I just did it for a few years. I did late nights and overnights. I am a night owl, but I did late nights and overnights for almost 20 years between ESPN Radio and CBS Sports Radio. I left for a lot of reasons. People blame my husband. It's not his fault. I was actually planning to leave overnights even before I got married and even before I met him, because I'd kind of come to the end of feeling like I could navigate that schedule in a healthy way. So there were a lot of mentally, physically, emotionally, I was done. And maybe you don't want to hear this, but the last 6 months of my run on overnights, sometimes I could barely make it out of the house. I mean, I had the joy when the microphone turned on, but I was so tired of the schedule and over the schedule that there were nights that I felt like I don't even care. And it was starting to affect how I watch sports and how I process sports, because it became so difficult to get into New York City in the middle of the night and do those hours. Again, it was starting to weigh on me in a lot of different arenas and areas of my life, that it started to affect how I approached what I was doing and how I approached my job. My passion was waning I was burnt out on sports and on the schedule, and I needed to get away from that because it was going to take away from my passion even more so. And so it was a perfect time. My husband and I were on opposite schedules for 2 years, but then we were able to be back on the same schedules, kind of. I mean, kind of. This is kind of all new for me, but just to take a deep breath and step back. I'm forever grateful to SiriusXM. I am still doing shows there, including one last night on Mad Dog Radio, but forever grateful that SiriusXM gave me the opportunity to jump right back into the radio arena and not be out of it for more than a month. But yeah, it was a chance to hit the reset button, and I feel better in a zillion ways. I do not miss working overnight. I love what we built on CBS Sports Radio and later Infinity Sports Network. It was the best career move I ever made, but I do not miss the hours. And I do not miss the commute into New York City, not even a little bit. All right, cool questions, good stuff. We'll continue to do this and build Ask Amy Anything back up.